Deerfield, Massachusetts, and this is quite a day when Old Deerfield opens up its homes along with reenactors like myself here, representing John Pynchon of Springfield, a notorious toady, if you will, after his father was sent to England in shame for having penned a sacrilegious text. I've taken over the colony. This is quite a collection of rascals and rogues in here that I'm sorry to be associated with. Sometimes I look around me and I think my father's colony is just doomed from the start. I mean, we call this fellow here a soldier. He's protecting us, I suppose. But this gentleman is a jack about town, attempting to make baskets that he will then use to purloin cash from the locality as well as the native tribes, and that's not good. My father said it once. Governor Winslow might object. But and then we have a riverboat man, you know, and you've never seen a riverboat man wasting a good opportunity to engage in an afternoon repast. We're not even asking him what's in the mug. We're not going down that road. My father was an abstemious man. He designed the Springfield Colony to be one that would reflect the very virtues of the Puritan world. It's Minister Moxon here. He's leading the congregation, and we're doing our very best.
Well, see, we're Dutch. We're from New Amsterdam, because the Puritans don't approve of music.
Ah, I see. I thought you were Moxon. I'm going to need some spectacles. Basically, we're talking about my father's colony, John Pynchon, John Pynchon.
Yeah, I heard you talk about Marymount earlier. Are they a sinner as big as the
Marymount? No, sir. My father wanted to get us as far away from that crowd as he possibly could.
He was exiled 3 or 4 times.
So, here at Deerfield, we see the opening of the homes with our reenactors and a team of horses pulling the young people. This is a great day to come to Deerfield. If you've never been up to Historic Deerfield, this is a great day to come and investigate this really neat historic site. The bookstore across the street, gift shop, really good bookstore. If you're looking for some good local history, that's a place to go. Meanwhile, we have a really excellent set of historic homes here, and I'm just kind of walking along and talking to you about these. These are not all from Deerfield. Many of them were brought from other places and reassembled here. This, however, is from Deerfield, Deerfield's first brick house. Notice the faux valley door, made of brick, ornate brickwork, but still, there's that austerity to these New England Congregationalist homes. Look at the beautiful farmhouse across from me here, and you can see what we call a Connecticut Valley door here. And what they were doing was, when they built their homes, and this looks like a Georgian style, it's got the 2 chimneys, usually sometimes 2, sometimes 4 means Georgian. And you can see the dentillation above the door, you know, the bas-relief symbolizing what looks like Ionian pillars supporting a portico, dentillation on the corners. Connecticut Valley door. These people made a fortune with Hadley loam, this rich black soil that Deerfield has been blessed with because of geography. The Deerfield River flows into the Connecticut from the south, but it's moving north when it hits the Connecticut, which is flowing from north to south. So in the spring, floodwaters for centuries, for millennia, backed up into this Deerfield pocket between Mount Pecumtuck over here. Right on the other side of Pecumtuck is the Connecticut River, which and it meets the Deerfield maybe 3 miles to my north. And that beautiful, rich loam is deposited during the flood times. So as we walk along, some of these houses are open for visitors, and some of these houses are private residences. But it's a really nice place to come to just go for a stroll any time of the year. I particularly like it during Thanksgiving period. When I come up here for the reenactment, I play my fiddle and also the character of John Pynchon today. I don't always play John Pynchon. Sometimes I play other characters. But you can see here's another Connecticut Valley door. And all the houses weren't white or brown. There were a lot of houses that were built with really magical colors that are kind of shocking to our modern eye. We want to think about these historic homes, and we think white, and we think brown. Like the one across the street here. Stained brown, that's what we want to see when we go to a old village. But as they started finding out in the 50s and 60s, as they did core samples of the exterior planks, they found out that, here's 1848, kind of a Gothic style cottage with a big porch out front. Imagine sitting there waiting for the vegetable man to come by. And they've done core samples on houses like the one across and this one here, and found out the house was originally pink, the house was originally teal. And this is a really great example of what's called a Garrison Style house. The bottom windows typically, if it was of the time period and it hadn't been modernized, the bottom windows would be small enough so that an intruder couldn't crawl through them. The second floor extends out above the first floor, and there'd be loopholes that would allow firearms to be just discharged at anybody that was attempting to get through the windows or the door. The door was designed to keep people out. And if we get close to this door, we can see it's tacked. And they would use a lot of tacks and nails in a door like this to try to prevent axes and tomahawks from doing any damage. The loopholing is now gone, so we aren't seeing authentic of the period Garrison house, but it's called the Garrison Style, and that's what you're looking at when you look at this type of house. But it's also in a salt box shape, right? We see how the back of the house comes down toward the ground. It's a reproduction of the old Indian house, Garrison House, that was built here in 1668 and withstood the attack by the French. It says Indians, but I'm going to say their native allies, on the night of February 29th, 1704. You know, that's leap year. How many famous American events or world events do you know of that have happened on leap year? And this is a little stroll, so we're not taking the full extensive stroll. I'll come back another time if you like this video and maybe go in a few of these houses if you're interested in looking. But you can see people are still living in some, and others are museums, and they're open to be toured. So this is Deerfield, Massachusetts, historic North Village, right off of Route 91 North, on your way to Burlington, Vermont, or on your way south to Springfield, Mass. So Deerfield was raided multiple times in its history. In 1670, the community was established. It was established by citizens from Dedham, Massachusetts, who had lost the Natick portion of their community, which would become a community of praying Indians, a collection of native people from all over central Massachusetts, generally Nipmuc and Narragansett, but some Wampanoags and maybe some Massachusetts in there as well. Because they lost their woodlots in Natick, they were given the opportunity to come out here. And the topsoil was the hook at Connecticut Valley loam. And they began the community in 1670. Just 5 years later, King Philip's War would ruin a good thing.